Will be different. The war on drugs and violent crime in America will take center stage. The new rules reverse policies from the Obama era seen as soft on crime. Now, suspects will once again face the longest sentence possible under mandatory guidelines. Peter Doocy live in Washington now. And when does this policy take effect, Peter?
Right away, Bill. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, says that any kind of policy from the previous administration that weakened sentences for nonviolent offenses has been rescinded. And he explains himself like this in a statement. He says, first, it is a core principle that prosecutors should charge and pursue the most serious, readily provable offense. This policy affirms our responsibility to enforce the law, is moral and just, and produces consistency. This policy fully utilizes the tools Congress has given us. By definition, the most serious offenses are those that carry the most substantial guidelines, sentences, including mandatory minimum sentences. That memo went out to nearly 100 U.S. attorneys last night, and the move is already being cheered by a former federal drug czar.
This notion of these nonviolent drug offenses, you know what they're talking about? Talking about drug dealers. Now, you tell me if a drug dealer who sells hundreds of pounds or hundreds of ounces of an illegal drug to young people or to anybody is doing harm to the community, is doing violence to those people. The answer is yes.
One of the former Obama Attorney Generals, Eric Holder, called the policy that weakened sentences for nonviolent offenses smart on crime, but the new administration clearly doesn't think so. There are now some complaints, though, from groups that had been pushing for criminal justice reform. The Brennan Center at NYU does not think that this improves public safety. They say in a statement, Sessions is leaving little to no room for prosecutors to use their judgment and determine what criminal charges best fit the crime. That approach is what led to this mess of mass incarceration. It exploded the prison population, didn't help public safety, and cost taxpayers billions in enforcement and incarceration costs. Yesterday, I was in West Virginia with the Attorney General, where he announced that tough law enforcement was about to start, new policies, tougher policies for law enforcement was about to start rounding up drug dealers to try to fight the war on drugs, and this does appear to be the next step in that. First they arrest them, then they get the most serious sentence.
Thank you,
Back
Peter.
to you.
Peter Doocy, thank you. On the streets of Washington.